there, how are you? I'm wonderful. Today we're gonna make cashew cheese, something everybody's talking about, but apparently nobody knows how to make it. I'm gonna show you the easiest recipe. It literally takes less than 5 minutes. It's a little bit pricey, but you can use this in so many different ways, in so many dishes. You can put it on crackers, have it in Alfredo, put it on your pasta. I mean, eat it raw. I'm gonna show you 3 ways to make different vegan cheeses today. They are all raw, so you and your loved ones can enjoy them. You can even use it as a healthy baby food. So first thing you need to start doing is having your cashews. I've soaked mine a little bit. You do not have to soak them, but it does help with digestion and absorbing more of the nutrients, which is our goal today in using the raw foods. Anything that's not cooked, obviously, is going to offer your body a lot more nutrition than any cooked food out there. So let's pour our cashews into the blender. Set that over there. I've got some beautiful herbs and vegetables here today. So what we're going to use is just a little bit of garlic. Got some extra cloves here if we need to add more at the end. We're going to use some of this beautiful organic basil and just put it right in there whole. For your cashew cheeses, it's a great opportunity to use a lot of the stems of your herbs that you wouldn't normally use in your regular cooking, because it is going to blend right in and you're just wanting to go for the flavor. And the sky's the limit when it comes to the type of flavor you want to do. You could do a curry flavored cheese, rosemary, thyme. Today we're going to do a basil and lemon flavor. So it's also a great opportunity to sneak in some of your green vegetables into this recipe. So I've got some kale and I've got some spinach here. We're going to throw that right into our mix. Now the only things we need to add to the cashew cheese, other than the cashew and the herbs and vegetables, is going to be a splash of organic lemon juice. You can use your favorite flavor. I just pick up some culinary lemon juice that are already ready in the bottle at the natural health food store. So we'll pour a little bit of that in. We're going to add a nice helping of sea salt today. And again, it might look like we're adding quite a bit, but we're going to make essentially 5 cups of cashew cheese. Now, make a big batch when you're doing this, because you can always freeze some for later, pull it out, use it for the base of your pizza dough, use it as your chip dip. And think of this dish like essentially a pesto sauce. So we're going to add a nice heaping help of organic extra virgin olive oil as well. So now that we've got everything into that blender, that's literally all we need. My secret when you're making a cashew cheese is to fill your water to the nut line. So no matter how many nuts you're using or what kind of white nut, you can use a macadamia, a Brazil nut, or a cashew, we're going to fill our water up just to where the top of the nuts are in our blender. That way, no matter how much we're making, we're always going to come out with the same consistency, and depending with the groceries you have at your house, you might turn out with a bit of a different yield than I have today. So we'll pop on the lid of the blender and we'll crush that all up. Should only take about 1 minute to make. Beautiful. So once it's nice and smooth in your blender, we're going to have a little taste test. My rule of thumb is you're going to taste things 3 times before it's perfect. You might luck out and get a perfect taste on the very first one. So we'll just try a bit. Oh my goodness, the fresh basil and the lemon is a perfect combination for a cashew cheese. The only thing I'm missing is like a touch more of the sea salt, and that's kind of the most important ingredient in this cashew cheese. When you're putting it on a pizza dough or on a cucumber chip or a cracker, the salt content typically is not going to be very high on your breads and vegetables. So you want your cashew cheese to be a little more flavorful than you would eat it just on its own. So when you layer it in that sandwich, all of the flavor is going to come through as the one sauce. So we'll put it back on the blender. You'll notice I added a little more salt and a little more lemon juice, and it's going to come out absolutely perfect. All right, we'll give that another little taste, and I'm pretty sure it'll be ready to use. So what you want to do is you want to store this in the fridge for about a week. You can always freeze it as well. You can use it as the cheese in your potato skins. I'm going to show you how to turn your cashew cheese into a healthy chip dip using just your probiotic tabs that you're buying at your local health food store. Everybody these days knows how important probiotics are. We all have gut health issues, and we're probably all having some of these hanging around the house. It's an easy way to incorporate it into your cashew cheeses and homemade yogurts to create that beautiful combination we need to keep our gut flora at its absolute best. So for every 1 cup you've made of your cashew cheese, you want to use 2 probiotic pills. And what we're going to do is we're literally going to open up the probiotic pill. We're going to empty the insides right into our cashew cheese, mix it right in, and over the next week it's going to bubble up and become a beautiful goat cheese. So you can see our consistency right now. It's a little bit runny. Once we put that into the fridge, the nut oils will reharden and that will become a beautiful spreadable cashew butter. So in your chip dip of your cashew cheese, what I like to add is some nice fresh dill. I could chop up some nice basil, some nice onion. You know, you want to have those pieces quite small. Chop up a little bit of dill pickle in there. And once you get all your herbs and flavorings and everything inside, you're going to add those 2 probiotic pill tabs. Whoops, drop it right in their hole. And then we're going to mix the whole thing up. And then you're just going to put a lid on that or saran wrap, and it's going to start fermenting. So from that moment on, it is eatable. And the longer you leave it, the more fermented it's going to become. You can kind of take a smell. You're going to get those probiotics right in there. So the cashew cheese is ready to use. I'm going to use some on my beautiful zucchini pasta here, so I'll just add a couple spoonfuls, mix it right in together. Oh yeah, can't wait to sprinkle some of my Parmesan pumpkin seed cheese on top of this. I mean, who doesn't love cheese? But for anyone who is vegan, lactose intolerant, or just cares about the cruelty to animals, this is a perfect alternative. Look at that, it's creamy, it's smooth, it looks like an Alfredo. So I don't know who you couldn't trick into eating that, but I bet you can take your chances on your own. Try this recipe at home. The next thing we're going to move on to is a pumpkin seed Parmesan cheese sprinkle. I'm going to use that on my pasta as well. All you need for this recipe is a food processor. You don't need anything fancy, so if you have an old food processor, it's a dinosaur and you haven't pulled it out in a million years, get that out of the cupboard, make this recipe. You can make a big jar at once, freeze half of it, and you'll be able to use this sprinkle on all sorts of salads, spaghettis, toasts, and different sorts of toppings. So all I'm using here is some organic pumpkin seed that I got at the local health food store. I'm going to put some chia seed in here as well, just to add some additional nutritional value and textures. You can also have sunflower seeds, nuts, or any other type of superfood or superfood powder, including seaweed paper and spirulina, that you want to add into your diet via a sprinkle. So I'm using my simple Italian seasoning in there for flavor. I'm going to add a nice shot of nutritional yeast, which we know is a cheese supplement. It's got B vitamins and amino acids. And then I'm just going to add a splash of salt and a splash of pepper. Now keep in mind, this is a sprinkle for on top of salads and pastas, so you do want it to have kind of a salty flavor, but you don't want it to be a salted topping. So there's everything in the processor. What you don't want to do is add something wet into this mixture. So don't soak your seeds, don't soak any nuts, don't add any wet vegetables, or you're just going to end up with a mushy mess. So it does all need to be dry. Put it on the food processor here. All right, that's it. Isn't that simple? So you can't tell me raw foods are too complicated, because that literally took 1 minute. We've got our beautiful pumpkin seed Parmesan cheese here. I'm going to give it a tiny taste. Just make sure the flavoring's on point. Oh yeah, delicious. Pumpkin seeds offer a lot of protein, a lot of flavor. They have a great texture. And so I'm just going to sprinkle the pumpkin seed Parmesan right on top of my spaghetti. I'm the type of person who likes a little bit of spaghetti with my cashew cheese. And that's the perfect lunch for me right there. So I'm going to enjoy this today. Gonna thank our sponsor, Nature's Fair, for providing the vegetables, and we will absolutely see you again to make more raw vegan and organic food on a budget.